Okay, guys, it's Ray, the gray-haired guy in the gi. I'm sorry this is part two because we had a fantastic 12-minute conversation and something happened to my phone. So we talked about a lot of things. So this one, we're going to run through kind of quick. I'm with Matt, Road here in Lance at his dojo. There's so much going on with history and just old school martial arts stuff. And so we're going to try to recreate what we just talked about. But what we were talking about was just mind-blowing. So we're going to try it again. And if this fails, I'm just going to edit it somehow. I'll figure it out. But anyway, man, hey, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, Rick.
Thank you. So tell me quick. I know you already did. What are you doing now for teaching?
Doing private lessons and semi-private lessons here at my home in Lance. I'm booking beginners all the way up to advanced. People that are competing, people that are just starting out their fitness venture. I have people that come here as well for self-defense.
Right. Okay, good. And you also teach a little bit at Bulldog Martial Arts?
Yeah. I'm there. I kind of jumped on with their stand-up program almost 2 years ago, doing their kickboxing class as well as their Wei Chi Ru program.
Right.
And yeah, I've been training myself some BJJ there as well.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that too because that's awesome.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah, and again, guys, sorry, man, we had a great conversation. So basically, Matt's been his lifetime martial artist, and your father is a highly respected judoka.
Yeah.
Let's go over that again.
Yeah, my dad, Wayne Maxwell, he started, I'm not sure what year he started, but I believe it was in the 60s. I'm pretty sure he wrapped a few maritime tournaments back in the day. We moved here in the mid 80s. And he would always implement some judo play into our wrestling and into our play fighting. And before I know it, my feet would be up in the air. And yeah, so I would never be able to set feet because he would always be taking them out from under me. So
right.
Some of the fundamentals, he loved the art of it all. My dad wasn't a tough guy. He was a very educated man, and he took to the complexity of judo. He really loved the traditional side of judo. So self-defense was very, very important to him as well. But he instilled in me the whole value of hard work and the whole thing about respect and all the core things of what true martial arts is supposed to be.
Right.
So he got me my start. I would say
so you would have done judo as well, of course, when you were young, or you didn't bother with it?
Not officially.
Okay.
The clubs that were here, my dad initially didn't have access to, or he didn't know about.
Okay.
And when it came to self-defense, I got smacked around. I got my arse handed to me twice as a little fella. So my dad didn't want that to happen anymore. Okay. So we started on the hunt for some self-defense. And after a few swings and misses, we came across Dartmouth Wei Chi Ru. So that was Louis Hopper's club in the north end of Dartmouth.
Which is what we were talking about. Because again, guys, for those who don't know, there's different styles of karate. But two I find are the most toughest, brutal styles to learn and train. Wei Chi Ru and Kyokushinkai. And just simply I feel, my own personal opinion, is that the training is really, really tough. Most people can't handle it. And so you started when you were really young.
10 is when I was regularly training at 10 years old, and that was solid my whole youth right up until I was turning the corner on being a young man.
Right.
Wei Chi Ru was part of it.
And for those who are not sure, in Wei Chi there's so much conditioning.
Yeah.
And maybe kind of give a quick explanation of why they beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah, so Wei Chi Ru is not one of the flashy styles that you see, in big karate tournaments with big ki-eyes and big jumping motions.
Perfect uniforms.
Right. Your uniform's supposed to be clean and not stinking, obviously. But the idea of Wei Chi was to be prepared for whatever a human could dish out to you. Right. So we would do things that you would see video of the old Shaolin monks doing.
Right.
You'd see Shaolin monks punching sand. Right. A vat full of sand. Finger push-ups and knuckle push-ups.
Yeah.
We would stand in various positions, kata or fight positions, and have others just attack us.
Yeah.
And just take it. I know Kyokushin does the same thing too. I've seen plenty of demonstrations of that.
Yeah.
The idea is that you're desensitizing the nerve line between the hit point that's supposed to hurt. Your brain says, ow, the first time.
Right.
Then when you do it 50 times, it doesn't even register as pain anymore. It's just kind of like mosquitoes, you know?
And that's the truth. If you've ever seen, like, or even looked at the old masters online, or even people from the 70s and 80s, it's just, there's a really good core still Weichi people around, and they're just unbelievable conditioning. It's just crazy.
Yeah. I 50-year-old man, I remember being a kid and transitioning from the youth to the adult classes, and doing arm rubbing and pounding, which is basically a conditioning drill that you do for blocking.
Right.
And we would transition into doing blocking kicks, and realizing that these men that were in their 50s had legs and arms that were like lumber.
Wow.
So obviously I'm a kid. Obviously this didn't feel like lumber to me anyway, but I just couldn't get over it. And they would beat on each other, and I would just be amazed, like I'm waiting for something to break and nothing would break.
Yeah.
It was amazing to be around that circle back then. We had so many awesome instructors. The lineage really all came from Jim Maloney.
Yep.
And all the instructors that came from him, open club. Maybe they moved, but they all really opened clubs. They all kept it as part of their life. Very few, the old adage, you get your black belt, you never see them again.
Right.
A lot of the black belts that went through, a lot of the people that eventually got to black belt that went through the motions of Weichi became addicted. I mean, maybe that's the wrong word, but it became part of their life.
Yep, absolutely. You mentioned a bunch of names, and sorry we got on again on our last one that we got messed up. But obviously, Paul Talbot, Ralph Hollett, Louis Hopper. I think there was a guy named Bob Keyhays used to be there. Pete Settle.
Yeah, Bob Case used to have a gym on Windsor. Actually, a really nice little gym.
I've been in that gym.
Really, all wood.
And it was small. It's like very small, but all wood.
Beautiful.
He had the punching bags way up in the ceiling.
Hanging
of course
off.
you were there. You know what I'm talking about.
I've been there a couple times, yeah.
And he lowered them down, and it was small. Like maybe you could fit 4 people.
Yeah, we used to do kata, and if the transition was 4 steps forward, you'd get to 2 steps forward, and then your next 2 steps would be backward. You do the same motions, but you do them backwards just because we'd run out of room. I've only been there a few times, but they were very welcoming. I just remember that dojo. Yeah. And Pete Settle, sorry if we got that wrong. Yeah, Pete Settle. He used to be on the corner of Quimple Road and Roby Street by the Willow Tree. And originally when Charles Carabin from Carabin's Taekwondo came from Sydney, he opened a Taekwondo school there. And then eventually he moved it down the road across from the movie theater, but then Pete opened up a Weichi school there. It was called Willow Tree Karate School. And I have a flyer at home still from it. I went there a bunch of times, trained with them. Because my club was farther down Roby Street, my Japanese Jiu-Jitsu club. So anyway, good guy. And I think there was another guy, not Dave Harrison, he's a Kempo guy. There was a guy in Bedford, Dave Hunt, another high-level Weichi guy. Churro guy.
Okay.
I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe he was under Duncan